I'd update what the progress is on my Edison battery restoration project. This up here will be a 12 volt if all works out. That was my initial restoration. Basically, I had to restore some terminals that were missing. I'm talking these type, right? Those are unobtainium practically. But I did want to show what I did. If anybody wants to replicate. I'm cleaning that post. We've got a little WD-40 on there, so having that sit. That's why it's kind of juicy looking. So what I did, you can see there's a copper washer. It's kind of like a spacer. And then the modern replacement. And then the wing nut. So what that is, these are Dorman brand copper washers. Got that off of Amazon. If you can get that, it's kind of hard to. You should be able to handle it, but that's what they look like. I'm not gonna touch them with my skin because the skin will wreck them. But so what you need is that, and then you need some wing nuts. If you ask me, I mean, I could probably get away with something else. Got these off of Amazon, and if I remember right, don't go anywhere. I use the this one right here, the 5x16. These actually got all scattered, and they're disorganized now. But I think this is the one you want. If not, it's one of these others. Pretty sure that's that one. And what the difference is here escapes me, or I don't know. Unless they're all 5x16, there's only 18 pieces in, well, no, that's quantity right there. There's something going on with that. Not too sure. These bigger ones, right off of there, they're too loose. I think. Maybe they're not. Or they're fine. Okay, whatever. You'll have to figure it out. I'm a little confused on this stuff. But get yourself one of these made up. I got this off of eBay. There's a company that makes these in quantity. I'll come up with that later, I guess, one of my other videos where I did. But basically, the process is you take one of those copper washers, you put that on there. Then you put on the terminal, and then you cinch it down with the wing nut. So out of all the information I gave you, you'll be able to piece it together to what you need to do. So so what's going on with that? Well, I'll show you here in a sec. Hold on. Let's see. Alright, so this is what I discovered, uncovered. This is an original Edison battery post terminal. Came with this set here, and these, of course, if you don't know already, they've been cut. They originally were a copper, solid copper with a, I don't know if you can see a better one, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm being such a stickler to document it well. There's not too much going on as far as original documentation. Basically, they were copper with nickel clad. But anyway, here's an original one. it's damaged or whatever. But you see they have a proprietary system here. If you look, and these terminals are, I assume they're the same. They got WD-40 on to kind of loosen them up. It's kind of an interesting looking shape, right? It's conical. So yeah, that would fit on. But the interesting thing is these nuts, right? Check out these nuts. Look normal from the top, but the bottom, they're not normal. They've got a cutout. So each of these nuts, the terminal will go on, and then there'd be one of these special nuts to adhere onto there, right? And so it's some hard stuff to find. Not only the terminals are hard to find, but they might be damaged. Plus the nuts are hard to find. As far as I know, unless those are a common thing, I don't know. So let me put this back real quick. Alright, some more things going on. So basically I'm trying to loosen all these terminals up. I can't use these. They're destroyed, right? So I have a bunch of these, enough to replicate the damaged ones, and I'll do something like this, like I did here with the copper spacer, I guess you call it, the modern terminal, and then the wing nut to kind of have an equivalent for what's been damaged. And of course I haven't begun to clean these or anything, no telling. Some of the ones I got, I think I already showed another video, completely wrecked. That came to me like that. It's interesting, but it's unusable. You see how even the plate itself has been bent over. This one has damage in the top. You can see a hole there. Top's caving in. This one, it's easy to see the damage, obviously. Anyway, it came to me like that. I'm not trying to dissect these like an idiot. They're too rare for that, and they're supposed to work. So why would you break something that works? This one's a different type of battery. It's one of my first ones I bought. I didn't know what I was doing before I knew how to ID batteries. I'll make a couple more videos on how to ID batteries too. But yeah, and this one, it leaks. Right there you can see some of the leaks coming out. There's like a damage. There's a leak. It leaked on me. In fact, it's leaking right there too. So that's leaking. So these ones, this one maybe is recoverable if the top is repaired, but these other ones are too much for me. Too much skills required. I don't have. This is some distilled water. There's some more down there. When you actually get to restoring these, the main thing they say is potassium hydroxide, right? I got 20 pounds of that, and then this is lithium hydroxide, or lithium monohydrate, sorry. You should get the chemical names right, because they're pretty much permanent. So potassium hydroxide and lithium hydrate. Lithium hydroxide monohydrate. Okay? We'll do this again. Potassium hydroxide and lithium hydroxide monohydrate. Okay? So this lithium stuff is, I'll say it right. Lithium hydroxide monohydrate is an accelerant. And I'll show you guys what it looks like and stuff when I get to mixing. But it's an accelerant. It's not required, but it's supposed to give about 10% extra effect. That's some mineral oil. I recently got some information that that made me understand what the deal with that is. But in summary, when you first put the electrolyte in the batteries, you charge them for about 4 hours, and then you put a little mineral oil on top to stop the carbonization effect, because the alkaline electrolyte sucks in carbon from the air and pollutes the electrolyte. So I guess, well, I need to say this too, I guess the workaround that they were doing is when these were charging, you see how these, that one's damaged, or we'll do this time. There'd be a you see that cap? The charging, this is a cleaner because I clean them up. I'm going to do some more. The charging would push out hydrogen gas, and it'd be a positive pressure and just push out, and that way the carbon from the air, the ambient air, wouldn't have a chance to get in there so well. That's what the rubber seal, the cap, and all that. That's what these are for. They're a tension type cap with the rubber seal. That's all. I'm going to clean all that. Ugh. So that was a way of keeping the carbon from getting in there. It was a positive pressure from the hydrogen pushing out during charging. You know, it'd have charging hydrogen gas. The other method was a thin film of mineral oil that provide a physical barrier. But there's a whole thing to that I'm just learning, so stay tuned. And I haven't actually done any like chemical restoration, just physical restoration at this point. And I got a long ways to go. This one's missing the cap. There's nothing special. That's just the cap off a juice or something. But that's carbonization right there. That's what you want to prevent, right? It's not good. Okay. Well, I think I covered a lot of things. Just want to give a little update on the status. Anything else? We went over getting new lugs, how to do it, and this is nice and tight on there. Should be good enough. We went over some of the chemicals. Went over potassium hydroxide, and we went over lithium hydroxide monohydrate, right? Talked about mineral oil. Did we talk about distilled water? I think we need to talk about that. And back here is a big old glass jar got from a surplus chemical company. I think it's called a Carboy. It's still up in there. This is a stick in there, a glass stick to stir with. And then back there are some more glass things, like a glass pitcher and a glass funnel, stuff like that. So when I finally get to doing the mix, I want to do it right the first time. I've read stuff where you want to stick your container into a cool basin of water because it gets hot, the chemical reaction when you're mixing in the potassium hydroxide. I've also heard put it in some ice, or put some ice bags around it when you do it. So I imagine putting it in a basin of cold water or something would be sufficient. So just little tips and things I'm picking up. I want to learn everything and get it done. Oh, here's some interesting stuff. When I do the actual measurements, the quantities, I have a gram scale for I've already forgot what it's called. The lithium. Let's do it right. Say it with me. Lithium hydroxide monohydrate. So I got a gram scale for that, and then I got a pound scale up to 90 pounds for the actual potassium hydroxide slash distilled water. So there's two scales here. These came from Amazon too. Really, I mean, less than about $30 shipped. I haven't tested them out, but I'm out. They had really good reviews. That's why I like Amazon. You get to see what people say before you buy it really easily. And the last thing I'll go over. So also got a distiller. I haven't unpacked it yet. I think it was about $80 or something. It's Chinese off-brand or whatever. I got it from EcoWorthy, so hopefully it'll work. It's all stainless steel and glass, and I got that info that you probably need to start distilling your own water if you got Edison batteries, because they go through quite a bit of distilled water, everyone says. So why not make it in-house, right? Okay, so we went over quite a bit, a little bit of tips and stuff. My big thing I want to talk about at the end here is I want to put together a book. I've talked about it to some folks. This is kind of like a sample of what it could be. Oh no, getting WD-40 on the pages. So anyway, what I want to do is make like a book. I'm tentative title, the Encyclopedia of Edison Alkaline Battery Technology. Just have a book. It's basically all copyright free stuff. It's so old, but just have a book and have not only just descriptions and stories and stuff, but actual manuals. I bought a few original manuals. I want to get them. Scanned, and what I want to do is make a huge Encyclopedia of Edison Alkaline Battery, like a reference, and have it available, so you guys aren't individually running around trying to find all this info and getting old wives' tales and half-truths and crap like that. But so I need to do that. I'm starting school here in the fall. My time's going to be in a crunch again, so and I work full time too, so I don't have a lot of time. But as can, when can, I'll get some more videos up and things like that, and then we'll go from there. But stay tuned. I'm going to try to get this manual, and if you got any good info, I could put in this. And this is just a demo manual, obviously. Darn it, I got the WD-40 on there. May evaporate, but if you got more info, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll put it in there. As far as price, I've said as much maybe as $20, but I want to keep the price low, maybe just to cover the cost of publishing, because I don't want to make a profit off of this info. I want to get it out there. I want it to go viral, like those old America Online discs, those old CD-ROMs. They put those things out so much, everybody had a copy. That's the kind of idea I want to do. Just get it out there. So I just want to make it basically a enthusiast Bible type reference encyclopedia of Edison Alkaline Battery Technology. Just want to throw it all together, get it out there, because I've gone through so much pain and stuff trying to research. I'm still hesitant to get going on this till I know every little aspect, because you don't want to be making mistakes. Thank you so much.